Hello, welcome to Cash Talks Football. We're doing good goal or bad defending, Premier League 2023 Bazillion edition. We're doing Newcastle versus Aston Villa right now. I'm going to try to do more game analysis as the season goes on. But remember, my main goal is to hopefully you can take something away to be a better footballer or do what I do, be a better football coach. Right now, we're going to start this goal off here with the first initial strike, and I want you to look at where the Villa defences are. Right, they're pretty solid. We're happy with that. They're not got a bad line there, but you can see this pocket here from their midfield, and this pocket is going to stay. And this is what the problem is when you're out of position or out of shape from one part of the event or one part of the play because you haven't made the effort in the first thing to get back. That always expands, and that's always the issue. When you're back in your shape to start with, it's hard for them to exploit it. Let's watch what happens right here. Bam. In comes this first shot. Bam. Right? The lazy player, as the shot comes in, is still being lazy. So when the ball comes out to be recovered, now he's doing a mad sprint. If he just kept walking a little bit faster, he'd have been there half a step quicker. Is that important? It's always important. Ask Paolo Maldini about the difference of the half step. I've talked about that before in other videos. So as we go forward here, bam. Remember that space that was there? Now it's kind of there because this guy's overcommitted. He's done the right thing in my book. He's gone where he's got, where he's needed to go. But we can see the space here again is starting to appear. And now the ball's played in. Solid shape right here. Not bad. Everything's okay. So the initial mistake of opening up that gap that was there now has been taken care of. We had pressure on the ball. We've still got our line. We're actually quite happy with that. Everything looks good. Let's see what happens next. Bump. This guy stepped up. We can already see where the ball's going, right in behind here. Now, I said this in another video today, but this is going to happen all season, I believe, because the offside rules changed. So by that, he's stepped up. These guys haven't. By the way, it wouldn't have mattered if they had anyway, because it's such a bad defensive play to step up here for some reason anyway, because you're just opening up your flank here for this ball to come through. Don't know why this guy's doing this. He's got no bloody clue what he's doing, right? Honestly, he needs to be dropping off. One of the things that I used to yell at when I was coaching, what's more dangerous in this position, the ball or the space? Every single one of my players will tell you the space is more dangerous than the ball right here because we have pressure on the ball. This guy doesn't understand the basics, and neither does his coach, because if his coach knew a damn thing, he'd be telling him to drop off right now because the ball's not dangerous because we've got pressure on it and we've got backup for the pressure. The space is the dangerous thing, and you've just opened it up for him because you're bad at the football. Right, so let's play this forward. Boom. We know where it's going. So our defensive shape now has been torn apart because this one guy has stepped up 1 yard. That's the difference. If he'd stepped back a yard, this ball would have been even harder to play because he could have been able to read it. He'd have more time to deal with it, and there'd be less space for him to actually get in behind. Good ball, though. Boom, on it goes. Now, this is our duel in the middle. Okay, we're happy there. Should he be closer to this? Yeah, 100%. But he does whip it first time. So you can't give him a little bit of a grief for not getting there quick enough. I would have given him grief for not getting there quick enough. He's on my team because he should have known that as soon as the ball's gone, it's going to go straight back to where he's going through, and he's going to play it first time, and he should have been there. He was out of position pretty much for the whole time anyway, but finish from the middle, and then it goes. Let's look at that again because the initial one isn't the goal. It's the extra runner over here. Let's watch this. Bam. Dosh. Oh, my bad. I'm completely wrong. It's a midfield runner. I thought it was the duel in the middle. Completely wrong by the Cash. Here he is. Midfield runner coming in. Dosh scores. Where is he in this position? So here he is. Let's see if anyone tracks him. Completely on his own here. He's the guy, the wee man that scores the ball. Scores the goal and gets it in the net box. Now, there's another issue here because, quite frankly, this midfielder, where I think their problem is, switched off right here, watching him, and so's he. That duel in the middle, solid. That's great. But actually, that's not bad, lad. He's actually looked around to see what's it. Oh, well done. A defender looked at something other than the football. Wow. It's not just John Stones in the Premier League that does it. There's another player that does it as well. Yeah, this is terrible. This guy's just ghosting in. Absolutely, completely unmarked. Let's get on to the next goal, because that's been like a day for me explaining about this one. Okay, this is the Villa on the attack. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm just looking at they've got so many defensive bodies here. I get it because they've got 4 up forward, but you've got 5 back. Okay, I kind of get that. But I'm shocked that they've been able to push this far back this easy because Newcastle, I've got Newcastle slated to making it in the top 4. Steps forward, follows the player, opens up the space. Similar problem that happened in the last in the last goal. Happens again. Back 4 solid though. Now that player's jogged on. Everything looks pretty okay. Bomb, off we go. Bit slow getting out to him. That's fine though, because sometimes players are just faster than you. That can happen. Not worried about that. Let's get on, see what happens. Move it forward, move it forward. No, he could have got there. See, he's slowly jogging. He needed to be sprinting out to get that ball there. Yeah, he could have put more pressure onto it. We've got a runner coming in. Again, these defenders, no one's really looking. They're all looking at the ball. They're not really looking at the players around. Check their heads again, check their heads. Look, no one's moved their head. They're all looking at the ball. They've got no idea that these 2 players here are unmarked. No one has had a little cheeky glance. Let's have a look. Cheeky glance. No one. Everyone's still staring at the ball. Cheeky glance. Bump. Knocks on. Honestly, it's a nothing header. He's knocked it on. He's not expecting anything to come of this, to be fair. If you've played that header over there in a Sunday League game, yeah, maybe, because it could be a melee in the box, of idiots falling over and all sorts of nonsense. In this sort of case, though, this is quality strike. Bang. Comes from he's being completely and utterly unmarked all the way through, because nobody bothers to actually turn their head and just look at where the players are. They're all looking at the ball. One of the rules, I'll say it over and over again, I say it in pretty much all my videos, look at the player, look at the ball, look at the player, look at the ball. Look at the player, and then, guess what you look at? The ball. The minute you focus on the player or the ball, you're going to get beaten by the other one. Right, let's get on to the next goal. Here we go, we've got this next goal coming up, and I'm going to say it again. I think it's first day of the Premier League season, and I'm going to say it a million times, I think. The offside rule has changed. These guys here are all getting played onside, even though the Villa line is so high. Now, I tell you again, this is awful coaching. I don't know where they learnt to coach, but here's the problem. You are giving what's more dangerous, the space or the ball. In this situation, it's both. There's no pressure on the ball, so the ball's dangerous. And because there's no pressure on the ball, the space is dangerous. If you've got a free kick, which they've played, and they're playing it, to play a ball in like that, you can't play a high line. And people go, oh, yeah, well, they do. Yeah, because the offside rule was in the favour of the defender. It's not really anymore. You can be just past level and be onside. Can't do this anymore unless you're extremely quick. Unless you're like a Man City where you've got so much pace, you're not bothered because you know that their striker is not as fast as your defender. You can do this. The problem is when your striker's at the same pace against the defender, the striker's going to win because he's got the advantage, right? So this situation here, when you're playing such a high line, squeezing up like this, they've seen it some teams doing, oh, we're going to play a high line, and not understanding why. And they're just going to get beaten all season like this. Let's have a little look. Here comes the ball. Bosch. Got pressure on it. Nah, that's not bad, Bobby. That's not bad. Good job. But this line, he's offside. Everybody else has played onside. And doesn't matter what all these look at him. He thinks he's offside because he would have been last season. He's not anymore because if his head or his arm or his shoulder, or his t-shirt tag was past the defender, he would have been offside. He's not now. So everyone's onside. Ball gets played across, plays it across, taps it in the goal. Look, you see number 7 there. Look, you can see. Look, he thought he was offside. Doesn't know the new rule yet. Let's have a little look. He's keeping him there. Look, he's not really trying because he thinks he's got him offside. You can see it. He's pushing him. They go, yeah, offside. First one to put his hand up, doesn't understand the new rule, and the fact that the coach hasn't sat down with the players and yelled and screamed at them about this, because that just caused them a goal. They were 1-1, and because of a player not understanding the rules, all of a sudden, they're 2-1 and they're a goal down. Let's get on to the next goal. Okay, we're looking at this next goal, blah, blah, blah. The ball's passed down. Striker kind of loses out of the defender. Defender's got the ball. Great. This is our situation. 1-on-1 right here. Again, the coach should just yell, just give it to your bloody goalkeeper. Keeper can play either away or straight through the middle here. Because as you can see, if he goes back here, he can go straight to one of these guys and they can get out quite easy. Obviously, there's no left back in this situation because it's probably this little wee man for him to play out. But the keeper's got all the time and space in the world just to ask for the ball, take a touch and get rid. But, we're in the Premier League and generally they can't really coach the babysitters. So they're babies, the players, the babysitters, as in the coaches, haven't told them what to do, and this is what ends up happening. Bomb, nicks the ball, and it's in the back of the net box. Simple things, because defenders don't do the basics. And the reason they don't do the basics is, well, because they're not told to. There's no way a Premier League football player is doing that without being told that he can do that. On the amount of money he's on a week, the amount of money that's involved in this game, and you're not making a simple pass to your goalkeeper to get rid of the ball like that. Come on, boys, come on. That is pathetic. Okay, we're going to have a little look at this next goal, but it looks very, very simple. Ball's coming into feet here. 3 players around. Let's look at their energy levels. Let's see what they're doing. By the way, this is another thing that bugs me. Look, I don't know who taught these idiots to coach. What are you doing, buddy? Unless there's a Newcastle player behind you, you're not doing anything in this game of football right now. You're not marking anybody. I used to have a coach who used to yell at me because I used to do a similar thing, and for completely different circumstances, but I would do it when we were attacking, and he used to get hacked off because he always used to have a defender come back and mark me. If there's no one there for this defender to be marking, he's not doing anything but just standing around in the grass. He can get closer here, he can even step a little bit closer here. There's many things he can do, but right now he's not actually doing anything in the game of football. And I'm going to find out there's a Newcastle player behind him now, and I'm completely wrong. But we're looking at the middle. Here's the ball. Let's have a little play. Bump comes in here, goes up, goes back, and it goes through. Anyone knows simple basic coaching, if you don't know how to play up, back, and through, follow the words. If you want a strategy to employ into any of your teams, play the ball up to a player, they knock it back, and then you play the ball through. It's that simple. You can teach your bloody 5-year-olds that, and you can have a good season. If you've got just do that as your Sunday league, this is our philosophy. We're going to knock the ball up. It can be up to a midfielder. We're going to play it back to a defender, and they're going to play it through. Or we're going to play it from the defender up to the striker. He's going to play it back to the midfielder, and he's going to play us through. Simple tactics. That's what has happened here. It goes up, back, and it goes through. Bump, back, and then it goes through. Now we're off to the foot races. Oh, there is a player there. Completely apologise to the lad. Yeah, completely sorry, mate. Yeah, you did have a player to mark. Yeah, you were perfect. Okay. Even the cash can be wrong once in a year. Right, so now we're off to the foot race. Again, the ball's in behind, but to me it looks like the dirty Villa have given up at this point. Because look at how much space he's got. He can't be that much quicker from a dead run. No way. Simple ball through. Taps into the net box. That easy. That quick. And again, though, I want to point out a thing. Look how high this line is. Look at where that bloody defensive line is. That's why that through ball is so easy to play. Because look at this space. And, okay, let's say that guy is faster, right? Because he just looked like he was then. There's no way you want to be trying to play these guys in an offside trap when they're just so much faster than you. And we've already proven that they don't know the offside rules. Look at the space here, boys. It's ridiculous. The ball's halfway in between. You should be on your backing up to your 18-yard box, taking that space away. You're asking them to pass it into the space. And, like, quite frankly, if this player was a little bit faster or a little bit tastier, when that ball comes through, he wouldn't have squared it. He would have just smashed it in on his own because he would have had the space to do it. And the pace as well, most likely. Terrible defending. God, I mean, look how high that... I'm just embarrassed for him. Honestly, I'm embarrassed for him. Let's get on to the next goal. Before we get on to the next goal, I'm just going to emphasise my point and show you how bad of defending this is, right? Look how high that line is, right? That's where the ball is played. You're looking at what, maybe... we'll say 10... Well, it's not, but we'll say 10 yards there, right? And that's probably 20 yards, something like that. We're using these as 10 yards each. I know they're not. I know they're smaller than that. But we're just going to use that for references, right? Twice as much distance between you and the 18-yard box than there is you and the ball. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, you cannot play football like that and not be expected to be punished. Again, he was probably offside last season, because if you look, his arm's hanging over. Again, they didn't learn the rules, so you can't do that. He's onside, boys. Yes, terrible. Let's have a look at the next one. Oh, look. Have a guess what the mistake's going to be. They're all up on the halfway line. The ball's really close to him. No one's dropping in. I think they've 4-1 down. I think they've given up at this point, which is terrible. Quite frankly, any footballer that gives up when they're losing, I would never have played for my football club again. Quite frankly, they just paid too much money. You know, you tell me if you would run around till your last breath on what? Let's say they're only on 50 grand a week. You'd do that, every single one of you, right? There's 3 Newcastle players looking to go and score. It's just terrible. Everything's terrible here. But again, it's the same issue. Where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? Yes, right. This is. Oh God, it's so bad. Yeah, you want to put pressure on the ball, but you're the last line of defence. You're the bloody centre back. You can't do that. You have to drop off. You have to go and cover the space and hope between where this ball is here and your 18-yard box on the other side of the field that someone comes to help you. You cannot pressure the ball like that. Look at this guy. He's laughing at him. How bad at the football are you, mate? Ball goes in. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Oh, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. And then they're off to a foot race, and guess what? They're not going to win it, and they're going to score another goal. Yeah, we'll just go to it's just terrible. If that defender dropped off there, okay, he was already be about here for when that pass is being played. Instead, he's not. He's up here messing around on the halfway line. Right, let's just go. Moving on. Yes, it's a foot race. We've already proven that their Newcastle players are faster than us, and he just runs off and smacks it in the goal from the halfway line. Like, what are you doing? When you're losing 4-1, here's a clue. You basically, you don't drop as deep and, sit back and defend your 18-yard box, but you try to make yourself a little bit harder to beat, and you don't put yourself with only 2 defenders up on the halfway line being idiots like these clowns. Oh my God, I'll be firing that manager and sacking half those players if I own that football club. All right, thanks. I'll see you next time on Cash Complains About Terrible Defending. I mean, good goal or bad defending.